part of the game of being a medicine.
So I have only one more.
You
I'm
are
pretty sure
fine.
this is my last one. So our job as a board is to protect the public.
Correct.
So safety issues. I don't really, to be really honest with you, I don't really care how the needling companies label their boxes. That's their problem. That's not something I can affect as a board member and the PT and OT board. I'm not saying it's not an issue. It's not my issue today.
The acupuncture,
I
the
also-
medical board does actually change, does do that for us though.
That's wonderful. That's not in my jurisdiction to
No.
tell the needling company how they need to label their box.
No,
Let's,
but
no.
let's,
No.
before you go on,
So-
let's take that question and say, I do want to know how do you order needles? What do you have to give the supply company? Do you have to give them an NPI? Do you have to be a physical therapist? Could I just order a needle or
Yeah,
what?
I'm curious about that.
What does the manufacturer ask you when you order those needles? And how hard are they to get in both disciplines?
My awareness is anybody can purchase them. I mean, I don't do the purchasing, but
Okay.
we do use the same Sarah needles that he showed there.
You don't have to give a license number. You don't have to.
You don't have to clarify that you're a PT?
I mean, yeah, I don't actually, I'm not, it's my assistant that does the actual ordering, so I don't know what she has input in there.
She's actually ordering the acupuncture needles on his prescription,
Yeah.
and she's actually doing it illegally. Because the FDA says that it has to be a person that's licensed to practice acupuncture.
Okay, so how do you order yours? You have to give them a license number. You have to.
Actually, most of the companies that we buy from, the Oriental medical companies, yes, they ask for our license number.
So the needle question,
We have to
AP.
fax coffee.
Yeah, go ahead.
So APTA, because there's a question around the country,
Yeah.
they got an outside legal counsel to come in and provide
Sure.
assistance on this, to look at this FDA medical device versus medical,
Mechanical.
thank you, sorry. And so what it came to is, okay, so the FDA, I'll just read it. FDA stated that the acupuncture needles are used for for the use by qualified practitioners as determined by states. We believe that the FDA in doing this was clearly signaling that it would not involve itself in determining who is a qualified practitioner for the use of acupuncture needles, leaving it to the states to decide. So in other words, and then it goes on and quotes later, that this is where you guys come in. I mean, so while you guys can't determine what sticker goes on the box, you can determine if dry needling is within the scope of practice of PTs, then it is then okay by the FDA for a PT and I would use that needle.
What's wrong about that is that they, on purpose, left the word acupuncture out of that, because the actual definition inside the actual FDA, and I have it printed, there's a code, says licensed to practice acupuncture as determined by the states. So if you as a board allow your PTs to use acupuncture needles, you are allowing them to practice acupuncture. Okay? That's why we're talking a lot about DN versus acupuncture. The truth is, we haven't even gone to the fact that it's not legal for a physical therapist to use an acupuncture needle. And no matter how you call the acupuncture needle and what you're doing with it, it's not legal for a person that isn't licensed to practice acupuncture to use an acupuncture needle. So I hope that at some level we get to that, because that's actually the most important part when you talk about the legal course of it. And the APTA has been wonderful about hiring some high-priced lawyers to manipulate the words. But as you saw on our brief, I'm not a lawyer. I tore it apart. Okay? It's a very